Hello, this is Marvelous Action Figures. I'm Paul. This is the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Dreadnok Ripper number 102. It is a fabulous looking figure, one of the best looking G.I. Joe figures, I think, actually, in the whole range. And look at that face sculpt. It gives me some real sort of Mandarin from Iron Man 3 vibes. You'll never see me coming. But the body is great. The sculpting is great. The paint application is great. He's got sort of chains on his wrist. He's got tattoos. He's got studded arm bracelets. He's got so much going on. Dog tags, grenades on him. He's got a whole load of stuff going on. Look at that headpiece. It's just fantastic. It really is Mandarin vibes. Not without some issues, though. It's the second G.I. Joe. So I got this at the same time as I got Hawk. And Hawk had some issues where I had to unfuse his legs and his arms. And I have the same with Ripper. Starting at the bottom, this knee, his left knee, was completely fused. Managed to heat it up and get some water on it and loosen it. And so it's come out great, and there was a really sweet double bend on it. So that eventually works fine. It's obviously stiff, so at least it sort of holds the pose when you need it to. So that's all right. That's good stuff. But the other one was also quite bad. Not as bad. Didn't need as much work doing to it, but they were really, really tight. I mean, in terms of his feet, brilliant swivel and pivot there and hinge on his boots, so they're great, really solid. It stands really well, so there's no problem with that. And then finish off the legs, you've got the drop down, and then you've got the great splits motion on them, so that's all fine. So it was that knee, worse than that knee though, and there's a little bit of thigh swivel there for you as well, worse than that knee, which I'll come to in a minute. I'll just finish off looking at his ab crunch. I'm working up the body here. The ab crunch is great, head articulation is excellent as well, but this arm, so arms up T-pose is fine. There's no issue with that. Smooth. Good butterfly. And there's a bicep swivel. However, my arm here, his arm. So his right arm was very stiff. It did eventually work, but it keeps fusing up. So you can get that double bend up. Now, obviously, he's got that studded band on his arm. So that's going to be hard to get it the full way up. You'd accept that. This arm, it's not happening. His left arm here, I cannot get that second elbow joint. I've hot water, hairdryer, I've tried to loosen it with a knife inside the joint on there. I cannot get it going. Customizers out there, tell me what to use. I cannot loosen that up. I'm sure there's some sort of oil or something I can get. So I can't get it any further. I don't want that to ruin this figure though. That is a first world problem, and it is a fabulous looking figure. As I say, it's a real treat to get, and everything else about it is exceptional, and it would work with a lot of ranges as well. You could slot this dude in with any other number of ranges as well. Looking at the things that come with him, there's a fair bit that's good. The glasses here, these are really cool. These look perfect, just like the comic. Now, I had major problem with Buzzer's glasses, and I ended up gluing them on because I hated the way they sat. Fortunately, ta-da! Although I am fiddling around here, there and it is off camera as well, just so you don't hear me swearing on it. There is no issues with Ripper's glasses. They will sit on really, really well and look excellent. There you go. Look at that beautiful piece on there. So they do sit on nicely. It does look great. He does look fantastic with them on. Absolutely sets that character off yet again. I will probably end up gluing them on because I like to do loads of sort of posing with these things. I don't want them to fall off. But that said, they don't need it. They do sit on well. So you can be assured on those ones. Then he's got this really cool knife with this sort of handled knife as well. I don't know if that's a zombie knife or not. But that sits really nice and snug up here on his bandolier, on his chest, that sits in there snug, and obviously he pulls it out because he's Australian. It's Crocodile Dundee knife, it's got it upside down, so you can pull the handle out there. He's a bit of a Tasmanian devil. Here's a cool sort of pistol with a bladed attachment to it as well. The thigh holster, so that sits, excuse me, that sits nicely on the thigh. It does swivel all the way around. There is a little groove on his thigh, so it's not embedded into it. It does move, but it does have a little sort of ledge for it to sit on there, so it won't slip down the leg. This weapon is great. So he's got his rifle here with the bladed attachment at the end because he's Ripper, because he rips everything. And then you've got magazine cartridge, which slots in like thus. And that is a really cool weapon. Not too gummy at all. Quite good. The actual blade on the end is quite gummy though. I don't know whether in painting that, making that a less durable, a less sharper piece, ironically, it's not too great. And here, excuse me, here is the power jaws, the pièce de resistance, the Raising Ease Ripper. These are great. So it's got the engine on the back, it's got the handle to hold it from one hand, and then it's got the guiding sort of steering handle at the back. It's got an adjustable lever at the front there, so you can hold it at any different angle. And those blades, they don't move, sadly. You can't actually lift it back and forth to lever it. You have to move it manually from the front. But it looks great. It's really, really solid and durable. I don't think there's going to be any problems with that. So now we've seen him and his gear, I'll kit him up and we'll scale him up with a couple of Joes. So let's start here with a couple of his Dreadnok pals. Here's Buzzer and here is Zorana. I have got Zartan as well, but he's in my display case and he's a real pain to take out, so I haven't taken him out. I'm not going to bother yet, but I will at some point, especially when we get torch from the Dreadnoks as well. So really good look to these. He actually looks fantastic just with Buzzer, but also put Zorana in as well. They look excellent. A real solid Dreadnok set. Okay, got him with a couple of my favourite figures. A couple of Cobras. I love these two. The infantry, they're great. They're fantastic. You can see him with a squad of these getting on board, causing mayhem for the Joes. Really good look to it. I think that was what I was going to say. He's very versatile with a number of different types of figures. So these ones work really well together as well. Right, dropped him in with a couple of Joes. So you've got Dusty and we've got Grunt. These work well. Two very different types of figures, both sort of military fatigues, very different ends of the scale. The desert wear looks great on Dusty. That works well for Ripper. And equally, he fits in nicely with Grunt as well. So that's a really cool looking set of figures. And then to finish, a couple of extreme ends of the scale. So you've got the Arctic Bat. And then you've got a Valaverse Action Force. So this is Trigger, who I do think looks like a Dreadnok as well. Tremendous head sculpts. Look at these two bad boys together. So I think he goes well with all different types of figures, as I say. And this sort of backs up as well. Sticker coat on him. You could see him out with the Arctic Bat. He works well with the Valaverse Action Force going up against them. He looks great with all figures. So there you go. There's my look at this Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Ripper. Stay for the montage at the end, if you wouldn't mind. He looks great. I say I will get over that elbow issue. It doesn't really stop with the types of things I've been posing him up and doing. So I think he's a really, really great figure. Hopefully if you're getting yours or you've got yours, you don't have those QC issues either. I am going to whack him on this bike, which I was hooked up with my good friend J-Tank at Spartan Dioramas. Gave me the tip for this Batman drifter bike. So he's going to look great on that because Dreadnoks got to have bikes, haven't they? So I'm off to put him on this bike now, and you see a few shots of that. But I do think this is a good figure. I say, hopefully you don't have those QSU issues. But let me know. Let me know what you think of this figure. Are you getting it? Have you had any issues with it? I'm hoping this is not the start of Joe's having bad QC issues, because I've had Hawk and this one. Let's just assume they're blips. And that's it for now. And I'll leave you another look at Ripper. And thanks very much. And I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.